My brother kept joking that my daughter was adopted. I started joking his son wasn't his. My daughter Lily is 6 years old and looks exactly like my husband. She got his blonde hair, his blue eyes, and his dimples. I have dark hair and brown eyes, so people always comment on how much she looks like her dad and nothing like me. My brother Wade thought this was the funniest thing in the world. First time he said something was at my parents' house when Lily was about 2. He looked at her and said, "Wow, you sure she's yours and not just some random kid you picked up somewhere?" Everyone laughed, including me, because I thought it was a one-time joke. It was not a one-time thing. Wade said something at every single family gathering for 4 years straight. He'd see Lily and say things like, "Hey, is that the neighbor's kid or still waiting on those DNA results?" Or my personal favorite, "Are we sure the hospital didn't swap babies?" Every single event, Christmas, Easter, birthdays, summer cookouts, always the same jokes. When Lily was 4, she started asking me what Uncle Wade meant when he said those things. I told her he was just being silly, but she kept bringing it up. At her 5th birthday party in front of all her little friends and their parents, Wade said loudly that he still wasn't convinced Lily was really mine. One of the other moms gave me this look like she felt sorry for me and I wanted to disappear. I pulled Wade aside after and told him to stop because Lily was old enough to understand now, and it was hurting her feelings. He told me to relax and said it was just a joke and I was being way too sensitive about nothing. My parents told me to let it go because that's just how Wade is and he doesn't mean anything by it. At Thanksgiving last year, Lily asked me in front of the entire family if she was really my daughter or if I found her somewhere like Uncle Wade always said. My heart broke. I didn't know what to say. Wade laughed and said, "See, even she thinks it's funny now." I looked at my daughter's confused little face and decided right then that Wade needed a taste of his own medicine. Wade has a 3-year-old son named Benji, who he thinks is the greatest child ever born. He talks about Benji constantly and posts pictures of him everywhere and acts like this kid invented walking. Wade is tall with light brown hair and green eyes. His wife Jess has red hair and freckles and pale skin. Benji has jet black hair and dark brown eyes and an olive complexion. Looks absolutely nothing like either one of them. At Christmas dinner, I walked in and looked right at Benji and said, "Wow, Wade, are you sure that one's yours?" Wade's smile dropped off his face immediately. He asked me what I meant by that. I shrugged and said, just kind of wondering if maybe Jess has something she wants to tell you." The room got very uncomfortable very fast. Wade said that wasn't funny at all. I said, "Really, because I thought we loved jokes like that in this family. Isn't that just how we are?" He didn't respond. At the New Year's party, I did it again. Looked at Benji playing with his toys and told Wade I heard the mailman in their neighborhood had dark hair too. Wade's face went red and he told me to knock it off right now. I told him I was just joking around and he was being way too sensitive about nothing. Sound familiar? My parents tried to tell me to stop and said I was taking things too far. I asked them why it was perfectly fine when Wade did this to my daughter for 4 straight years, but suddenly crossing a line when I did it once to his son. My mom opened her mouth to say something but couldn't come up with anything. She just walked away. Wade cornered me in the kitchen later and said I was completely out of line because Jess was really upset and people might actually start believing something was going on. I told him my 6-year-old daughter cried herself to sleep and asked me if I was really her mother because of his jokes. So maybe now he finally understood how it felt to have someone question your family. Wade tried to say it was different because Lily was too young to really understand what he was saying. I told him she literally stood up at Thanksgiving dinner and asked the whole family if I found her somewhere. That's not too young to understand. That's a little girl who internalized 4 years of her uncle telling her she didn't belong. Wade went quiet and didn't say anything else that night. A few days later, my dad called and said he'd talked to Wade and told him he needed to apologize to me and to Lily for real. Wade did apologize at the next family dinner, but it was one of those sorry if you were offended apologies that didn't actually take responsibility for anything. I told him that was fine and I understood, and that I just keep making jokes about Benji until he figured out how to give a real one. 2 weeks later, Wade called me and asked if we could talk. He said he'd been thinking about it and realized he'd been cruel without meaning to be, and he was sorry for hurting Lily. At my daughter's 6th birthday party last month, Wade walked up to Lily and got down on her level and told her he was really sorry for saying mean things and that she was absolutely 100% her mother's daughter and anyone could see it. Lily looked at him and then hugged him and said, "It's okay, Uncle Wade. I know you're not that smart." The whole room burst out laughing. I have never been prouder of that kid in my entire life.